friends, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to the start of the week, which happens to be my birthday today. So 3 shows today. Busy old day and lots of celebrations to do as well. So I'm going to kick off with another of the Rolling Stone members' solo albums. And we're going to look today at the legendary drummer Mr. Charlie Watts. Now, he was drummer with the Stones, of course, from 1963 until his sad death in 2021. He was a trained graphic artist, was Charlie, and he was interested in jazz and blues. He was sort of involved in the Blues Incorporated at some stage. Then he met Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and Brian Jones, and the rest is history. He left the Blues Incorporated to join Rolling Stones, and that's where he's been ever since. You know, he was in that band for 58 years, and one of his famous quotes was, being in the Rolling Stones is like a 25-year period. 5 years of playing and 20 years of waiting to do stuff. He was nicknamed by Jagger as Wembley Whammer, as a major influence in his drumming style. Apart from his rock and roll, he was, as we know, he was hugely into his jazz. He had the Charlie Watts Quintet and appeared timeless times at Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club. With all these other recording things, he actually made 4 albums, which was incredible, and they're all jazz-based albums, except one that's a little bit interesting, as I could say. So we thought we'd have a look at those today. So coming in at number 4, we have an album which is 4th and final sort of solo project. It came out in the year 2000. And it's the Charlie Watts Jim Keltner project. Some interesting people on here. They sort of each. It doesn't say much about who's on, but you've got Jim Keltner and Charlie Watts, of course. We've got Philip Chavot doing congas and sounds and shakers, and who else is on here? Emmanuel Sordix, Tom Toms. So there's 1 or 2 people on here. So the first track on here is called Shelly Man. Some interesting percussion here from Charlie. It's a bit strange. It's this album I really couldn't get into, but it's okay. This track, it's okay. It's not special. Then we get a track called Art Blakely. I found this a little bit strange. There's too much going on. You got this solid bass sound and some flutes, and there's all sorts going in. It's a good drum beat, but it's really weird, to say the least. Then we have a track called Kenny Clark. I really didn't. I struggled with this. It's got violin Marek Chavansky as a guest. I just couldn't cope. Then we have a track called Tony Williams, and on keyboards on this is a certain Mick Jagger. Very weird, but interesting, to say the least. It's a sort of jazz odyssey meets electronica meets rock and roll. Yeah, it's very interesting, to say the least, as I said. Then we have a track called Roy Haynes. It's just lots of noise. I couldn't get on with that. Then we have a track called Max Roach. I just wonder if it's named after the film producer of Laurel and Hardy. We've got Remy Vignolo on bass here. I really couldn't get into it at all. I mean, I like strange stuff, but this is too strange for me. I really found it a little irritating. Then Artito is next. No, Kenny Arnoff's on here doing percussion. Sounds a little bit better. There is a drum machine in here, which I find a bit bizarre, because why would you need a drum machine when you've got Charlie Watts? But there you go. Billy Higgins is next. Didn't like that at all. Like after a few minutes, I had to switch it off. I couldn't cope with it. Elvine Suite. Now this features Keith Richards on guitars, Blondie Chaplin on vocals. I like this. This is very jazzy. It's the best track on the album. It's the only one I really like. It's got that modern jazz sound. Some great drumming from Charlie on this. It's probably the only track on the album that has actually got some structure. As I said, it was a bizarre album. I don't know. I just couldn't get it. I do like the last track, so I shall give this an RTO ranking of 1 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 3, we go to 1991, and this is the Charlie Watts Quintet. And it's from One Charlie. And we got an acoustic bass, David Green, alto sax, Peter King, Charlie Watts, of course, on the drums, Brian Lemon on the piano, and Gerard Princer on the trumpet. Now, this is a mixture of just great jazz tunes, some all over the place. So we got practicing, just great track. I love the drumming on here from Charlie. He's, you know, such a great drummer. Some great saxophone, really strong track that is. Blackbird, White Chicks, part Charlie's drumming. There's some nice muted jazz trumpet on there, good bass line, just really interesting. Bluebird, some lovely piano here, some gentle drumming from Charlie on that one. Terra de Pajo, uplifting. It's sort of the music you hear in lifts in department stores. Really good track. Bad Seeds is next. It's by Ride Drinks. Brilliant track, my favourite on the album. Some brilliant piano playing on here, a great bass line. Dave Grebe is brilliant on this. Relaxing at Calmaro, a combination of trumpets and saxophone play off each other, again with a steady sort of jazzy sort of beat from Charlie. Going, Gone. I love this. This is a sultry, slow jazz tune. Wonderful muted trumpet and saxophone. Really good. Great track to end the album. This is a really good jazz album. I like this. So relaxing. Charlie, fine jazz drummer. I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, then coming in at number 2. This is from 1996, and it's part of the Charlie Watts Quintet, and it's called Long Ago and Far Away. So we've got Dave Green again on the acoustic bass, alto sax Peter King, Charlie on the drums. The orchestra is the Metropolitan Orchestra. Brian Lemon on the piano again. Gerard Princer on the trumpet, and vocals on this one are supplied by Bernard Fowler. I've Got a Crush on You. Great track. Bernard's vocals on here. It's some lovely piano again from Brian. I like this track. It's just so sort of speakeasy sort of sound, smoky bars, big microphones, you know, the sort of thing. Long Far Ago. I love this as well. Some lovely saxophone on this one. Tremendous track. You can't get any better than that, really. More Than You Know. Charlie's drumming on this is great. It's sultry. It's moving stuff. Great vocals again from Bernard. Should I Care? Very good track. Charlie's drumming is just magical. Good Morning Heartache, my favourite track on here. This is just piano strings and that sort of swingy sort of drum beat from Charlie. Excellent track. Someday You'll Be Sorry. Solid jazz. I love the music. The musicians are fantastic on here. It's just good old-fashioned jazz. They can't go wrong with that. I Get Along Without You very well. My favourite bit of this is the saxophone solo. Just blows me away. It's just amazing. Just a very solid track. What's New comes next. Very crooner sort of song. You could imagine Tony Bennett and Dean Martin and even Frank singing this. It's very, very good. A really fantastic version of Stairway to the Stars. Charlie's drumming just leads it. He's playing with a big band sound. Very, very good. It's just a fantastic version. In the Still of the Night, saxophone's good. Great bass line here. It's a proper bassy, jazzy sound from David Green. Fantastic track. And then we get All or Nothing at All. Right bass from David again. Some bongos on here. The strings are good. It's solid. I'm in the Mood for Love. Very gentle song. You know, very gentle drumming on that. In a sentimental mood. I love muted trumpet, and it's at its best on that track. Never Let Me Go. The best vocal for Bernard on here. It's a fantastic song. Really good album. It's one of those late night albums where you put it on when you're hosting a dinner party in the background. It's a real good album for background music. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.9. But my favourite one of Charlie's solo albums is his 1993 Charlie Watts Quintet again. Warm and Tender. Same people: Dave Green, Peter King, Charlie Watts, Brian Lemon, Gerard Pressner and Bernard Fowler. My Ship. It's got one of them smoky room, big microphones, speakeasy bars, very swoony. Fantastic track. Bewitched, Bothered and Bewildered. Some super strings on this. It's got a lovely little bit of gentle drumming from Charlie. You know, this is how good Charlie was. He could thrash it out when he was in the Stones, but here he could play them little bits of intricate drumming, that gentleness. Always a good sign of a good drummer. My Foolish Heart. This is my favourite track on it. It's probably my favourite track that Charlie did outside of the Stones. Highlights on it, obviously it's Charlie's drumming. The piano's great. The saxophone. Terrific song. Someone to Watch Over Me. It's just one of them great jazz bass lines. So moody. A very good track. I'll Be Around. Bernard's vocals on this are terrific. Charlie, just unbelievable. Love Walked In, great this song is. The strings are fantastic. It Never Entered My Mind, again one of my favourite tracks on here. Some great trumpet playing, just terrific. My Only One and Only Love, lovely bass line. The piano, I love jazz piano. It's just got a different sort of thing. And then you got just Charlie gently playing the drums, just gently going over that kit. And then he sorts of, the tempo picks up a little bit there, but he still keeps the track going. I'm Glad There Is You. Lots of muted trumpet on here, and I just love that. Some lovely intricate drum fills here from Charlie. Very, very good. If I Should Lose You, dominated by the saxophone all the way through. Brilliant track. I'll Wind, Ill Wind, sorry, can't see. Lovely sort of whiny trumpet on here, and that sultry piano. Well, it's so moody. Time After Time. The tempo here is brilliant. Now, I think doing these slow tempos is harder than doing the rock and roll tempos. You know, to keep that slow beat all the way through with them gentle fills, and everyone seems to play around Charlie's drumming on that one is fantastic. Where Are You? vocals and trumpets. Bernard's vocals are great. Fantastic track. These are all good tracks. For all we know, another of those tracks, it's definitely got the big microphones, the smoky room effect, like that. And they didn't believe me. One of my favourite tracks as well, the saxophone on is here. You got that little bits of piano, sultry sound of the jazz piano, and of course Charlie just keeps that beat going. You Go to My Head. This is sort of a duel off between piano and trumpet. Some good drumming here. It's a real uplifting track with a great tempo. It's the last track. I tell you what, there's not much between these two albums. I do play these quite a lot, believe it or not. A lot at night. This one though is when, you know, if you're reading at night or you just want a quiet time but with something in the background. This is the sort of album you put on. It depends what your mood is. Again, I love listening to this, and you just prove what a great drummer Charlie Watts was. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, we've only got to look at Brian Jones and Mick Taylor, and we've been through all the solo albums of the Rolling Stones, which is quite apt because their new album's out this month. Looking forward to that, and that's Hackney Diamonds, of course. So that's all for this one. I'll be back later. Well, obviously we've got I'm doing my US birthday top 10, all the songs that were in the top 10 when I was born that were in America. But we've got a classic album, and we're going to look at one of the Rolling Stones magazine's best album of, I think it's the 1990s, and it's Pearl Jam's debut, 10. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So I'll see you for that later. Bye for now.